In this tutorial, we're going to go through the basic setup of the Moodle Gradebook. So I'm going to start with a blank course and go to the grades, and you want to go to Gradebook Setup. So if you're just starting, what I recommend is that you look at your syllabus and set it up according to your syllabus as far as categories and grade items and weightings. So we're going to start with a category for quizzes. And that's all we do for now is add the categories. We're going to add a category for homework. And a category for presentations. Now I created categories for these because each of these categories is going to have graded items, whether they're manual grade items or Moodle module items that are going to go underneath them, and they'll be calculated automatically through these categories. Now I'm going to create grade items for things that don't need multiples of them, like participation and a final or a midterm. Now keep in mind that if you're going to have students do a written midterm or a written final or not use a Moodle module, then you would do the grade item here. You can also use this as a placeholder and then remove it later when you create a manual item, and I'll explain. Basically, it's best practice to create the gradebook structure at the beginning, and then you can alter as you go. So I'll create a grade item here for participation. And another one for the midterm. And for the final. So now I have all of my individual and categories that are going to make up my entire grade. Now you'll see the weights in the middle. So in order to put the weightings in according to my syllabus, I'm just going to look at what I've put on my syllabus. So let's say I have graded here. Quizzes are worth 20%, and homework is worth 15. You just check these boxes and you put it where the folder is. Presentations are worth 15. Participation is worth 10. Let's make that worth 5. Midterm is worth 20. And final is worth 25. I think that's math. Let's save changes. And if it's not right, it'll automatically add up to 100. So now I have my gradebook structure set up. Now, like I said, midterm and final are serving as placeholders right now because I plan on creating an assignment or an actual quiz in the Moodle Gradebook that I will eventually put in place of these. And anytime I create a quiz or a homework assignment or something that's going to be a presentation, then I'll put that under this category. So now we're going to switch back to the course itself so I can show you how that works. So if I turn editing on, When I'm adding, we'll just say, for example, an assignment, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Let's say this is a presentation. When you are adding it, you want to make sure you go to grade and grade category. This will save you time later. You want to put it in the correct grade category. So we'll put it in presentations. So then when you save, and then go back to your gradebook, it's automatically under presentations. Now this weighting in the middle is going to automatically weight at this point value here. So if I were to add another one, this would drop down to 50, but this is really irrelevant unless you need them to be higher or lower in overall percentage than another assignment, but they all have to add up to 100% under here. So if I had 10 presentations, but one was worth more, they would all have to equal 100%, even though it's 15% total of their overall grade. The points are really irrelevant. It's just how much their assigned value is when you're setting up the assignment, which you can change in the assignment itself, which is under grade here. So if I were to change that to 10, go back to grades. Now it says 10. So the points are really irrelevant. It's still weighting it as 100% because, like I said, each item under a category has to equal 100% of that category. And if there were 2, then it would be 50. Okay. So let's say I wanted to add my midterm in here, and I already had a placeholder. So I would go back to my test course, and I'm going to add a quiz. And we're going to call this midterm. And again, under grade category. Nope, we didn't have a grade category for that one. So that one's going to be loose under the main category. So we're going to just say save and return. And I'll show you what that does. So that goes back to grades and we go to the Gradebook Setup. So now we've got midterm here, and you can see that it automatically marks it at 0 weight because we already have the midterm here at 20%. And so what we would need to do now is set this at 20%, and we can mark that, uncheck that, which will make that 0%, and then later we can go in and delete that. Let's save changes. So now we've got the midterm here, and we could do the same thing for the final.